Hello everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. I am back today because we are in a brand new month, which means that I have to show you guys everything I picked up last month. So I'm here to talk about all of my media pickups for September 2021, and this month I have a little bit of everything: music, video games, DVDs, 4K discs, Blu-rays, you name it. There's probably something here for you. And so I did post a book and manga haul already this month, so definitely check that out if you're interested in that side of things. But today we're going to start with a couple of CDs that I found. We're going to talk then video games, and then we'll work it down like we always do: DVDs, Blu-ray, and then finally we'll wrap it up with the 4K discs I ended up finding. So tons to talk about today, so let's not waste any time at all. If you guys do enjoy this one, please give it a like down below. That does help me out. But with that said, let's get right to it. Let's dive right in to my September 2021 media haul. So let's start off with a couple of CDs I found, and I actually got both of these for free from the Second and Charles free bin, which I always talk about and I love. The first one here is Creed, My Own Prison. So I'll admit, I used to like Creed way back when in like middle school. This is not the album I owned from them. I owned the very famous one, which the name I'm forgetting right now, but like, you know, My Sacrifice, that might even have been the name of the album. I don't know, but that was like their major song. I loved that song, and I figured, why not grab this, see if it's any good or not. So this one doesn't have any songs I recognize on it, but again, my Creed knowledge is pretty limited. So yeah, ended up grabbing Creed, My Own Prison, and the other one I grabbed is a CD that I absolutely loved, again, when I was in middle school. This is one of the ones that ended up getting stolen from me in high school, but this is Matchbox 20, and this is Yourself or Someone Like You. There are so many amazing songs on this album. I love it. 3 a.m., Push, like those are just brilliant songs. I love them so much. I remember in the Detroit area, 89X used to play all the alternative music. They would play 3 a.m. and Push all the time, and I just fell in love. So yeah, I was very happy to find this one because it's a CD that I love, an album I love, and so now I was able to add it back to the collection for the low cost of free, and you can't go wrong with that. So a little old school Creed, My Own Prison, and Matchbox 20, Yourself or Someone Like You, two really good albums for nothing. Can't beat that deal. So those are the CDs I found. Now let's jump over to some video game talk. Let's start with the game that I've already beaten, actually, and this game was a blast, pun kind of intended here, but this is Cruisin' Blast on the Nintendo Switch. So if you guys are fans of the old cruising games like Cruisin' USA, Cruisin' World, then you will have a great time with this game if you have a Switch. It is just over-the-top arcade racing done at its best. The cars you get are kind of ridiculous. You have some, standard cars, but then you can unlock things like a UFO. Like, it's just ridiculous, but it's so fast and fun, and that's the reason I got this. I was watching a review of this on YouTube from John Hancock, who I really enjoy watching, and he was praising it, and so literally that weekend I had to go out and get it. It was actually a little bit difficult to find for some reason, but I was able to get this one for, it was released at $40, so it's a budget title, but I got it for like whatever, $7 less than that, I guess, thanks to Walmart is where I found it. And it was only $33.88 there, so that's a really good deal. But yeah, this game I cannot recommend enough. I had so much fun with it. I beat it on, I play all my games on like the easy mode because I just want to have fun. And I beat it there. I will go back and do normal next just because it was so much fun. But I'm a little addicted to Animal Crossing New Horizons right now, so that's like the only game going in my Switch. But this one was so great. I ended up watching football all day and beating this game at the same time using the Switch in handheld mode, and it was just a blast. So Cruisin' Blast on the Switch is the first game I got, and I cannot recommend this one enough. It is just so much fun if you are a fan of arcade racers. I think you guys know me well enough by now that if there is something like I'll watch something or I'll hear about something, read about something, and it's like, man, it just gets in my head. I need that. Like, I want to have that in my collection. Well, that's what happened with this one. I must have read about it or watched a YouTube video on it. I don't remember specifically, but I ended up grabbing Batman Return to Arkham on Xbox One. Now, this is a, remake, I guess, I guess it's a remake, right? I think they updated the visuals. I don't know if they did anything with the controls at all, but updated visuals for Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham Asylum, and Batman Arkham City, the first 2 games in the Arkham series that is just always praised for being like the best of the Batman games. I have played a little bit of whatever the last one was, Arkham... I don't remember. Whatever the third one was, it actually came out on Xbox One and PS4. I can't remember the name of it now. I played a little bit of that. I enjoyed it, but I got stuck at like a driving area, and I just couldn't get past it, so I just stopped playing it, which is typical for me. Like, if there's a moment where I just get stuck, and I've tried it a number of times, I'm going to move on to something else. I have a ridiculous amount of video games. If I get bored or frustrated, it's time to move on, because I play games for fun. There's no point in getting mad about it. So, anyway... That tangent aside, I grabbed this one here. Have not actually started it yet, but I definitely plan on playing this. It's been sitting up next to my Xbox now for a couple of weeks, ever since I grabbed it. So this one will be put in very soon. Batman Return to Arkham. That's the last game I grabbed, but I do have one accessory that I want to talk about for the Xbox. So on one hand, with this last item, it does feel a little bit random for me, but on the other hand, this is something that I've been thinking about for at least a year now, and I think about it, I do some research, and then I forget about it and move on. But then this last time, I decided, you know what, let's see what we can do, and so I actually did some trade-ins at GameStop in order to get this one. I only paid like $10 out of pocket for this, which is a really good deal because this is a $100 thing, and I'm talking about the Xbox, what is it called? Xbox wireless headset. Very simple name that I've forgotten apparently, but this one has like Dolby Atmos capabilities to it, and which is the main reason I wanted it, just to hear how that sounded in a headset. I do have a Dolby Atmos soundbar with back speakers and everything, and that sounds great. But I wanted to try this out, and it sounds fantastic. So this is a little bit random because I don't often wear headsets while gaming. I don't ever play online games, or almost never play online games, I'll say. And so like the fact that it has the microphone didn't really matter too much to me. But I wanted to try this, see how it sounded. And it just got so many good reviews. It's supposed to be, it was just supposed to be one of the best ones you could get for that price. And so I figured, I'm all Xbox. Let's just do this and see how it is. Well, I did, and I will tell you, I am thoroughly impressed with this. It sounds fantastic. It is super comfortable. I still have them actually somewhere. Ones that I was using previously were like a HyperX Cloud or something. Little cheaper ones, but they were super comfortable. These are even better than that. They are so comfy to wear. And now that I have them, I see why people wear these all the time, even if they don't have to, because you just pick up so much more. Playing racing games, I could literally hear when a car was like creeping up behind me on and then on what side it was coming in, which was just awesome. I can hear that with my surround sound setup, but it's not quite as detailed, I guess, as it is with these headphones. And so this was a very good purchase. Again, I spent $10 out of pocket for these, which was a really good deal. And I traded in just a handful of stuff that I wasn't playing. It was super old. I either got for free or whatever the case is. So it worked out. This was a random purchase, sort of, kind of, but I did my research and I decided that these were the ones that were going to be best for me, and I am so glad I did. I don't use them all the time, but there are some games where I really prefer using them over just using my surround sound setup. And so if you're interested in headphones and you do have an Xbox, this works on both Xbox One and Xbox Series S and X. And so if you're interested in a headset, I definitely recommend these. Now, I am not an audiophile by any stretch of the imagination, but I know what sounds good to me, and these sound awesome. And the comfort level is kind of ridiculous. They are so comfy to wear. So the Xbox wireless headset, I'm very happy I added them, even though I probably didn't need them. They're a really cool add for my Xbox collection. So that is all of the video game related items I grabbed. So now let's move over and talk about DVDs. I've mentioned it before that I am on a UFC kick, and so there was some in my like buy 3 get 3 disc replay haul, and there's going to be about 6 more here. I'll go through them pretty quickly because I know people don't really care too much about these, and I don't really have much to say about them. So the first one here is UFC Ultimate Heavyweights, and this is 30 full-length fights, which is a really good deal. And so 20 why does it say 30? Oh, okay. So there are 20 fights listed here, and then there are 5 bonus fights and 5 classic fights. So that's what gives you your 30 fights. But yeah, Brock Lesnar's on the cover, which is pretty much all you need to sell me. So yeah, very excited to check this one out. I love like watching these. They're just so brutal and fun. They're great. And so Ultimate Heavyweights will be a really good one. Now let's just continue on here because there's a lot of like standard pay-per-views. And so the first one here is UFC 43 Meltdown, and you have Chuck Liddell versus Randy Couture, so that'll be an excellent one. And then UFC 44, this one is Tito Ortiz versus Randy Couture. And then we have a double pack here. I believe this is, 45 and 46. And so Revolution and then Supernatural with Randy Couture again versus Victor Belfort. So just 3 in a row, or 4 in a row, I guess, from UFC 43 all the way to 6. So I'm very excited to have these because I can watch them in order, and that will just be fun. So 3 cool ones there for the collection. Couple more here. We have UFC 104 and 105. Those other ones I believe I all got from, where was it? Disc Replay. But this one I got from Second and Charles, UFC 104 and 105. And then last but not least, the final double pack. This is the only one I bought new, and I bought this one from FYE because it was a good price. For $9, as you can see on there, I got UFC 183 and 184. And the reason I wanted this one is because it has a Ronda Rousey fight on it, who I really enjoy. I loved her in WWE when she was on there, and so yeah, I just wanted to have one of her fights in the collection. So I know that not everyone cares about these, but there are some of you out there, as the comments have proven, that do care. So yeah, just a bunch of fights, a bunch of pay-per-view cards, plus a best of DVD. So a really cool haul for my UFC or my MMA collection, so I'm happy with it. So sticking with FYE, I actually found some old classic Scooby-Doo full-length movies that I used to love when I was a kid. I think I showed you guys a few months ago, I found Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers, which was an all-time favorite of mine. I watched that recently. It's still a great movie. And so because of that, I've been on a bit of a Scooby-Doo kick lately. So the first one I ended up finding was Scooby-Doo Meets Batman, which I loved this one. This may have been like one of my first real interactions with the character of Batman when I was younger. I love it. Not only do you get Batman, but you get the Joker, you get Penguin in this. Like, this is a great one. Robin is in this as well. I love this movie. So Batman meets Scooby-Doo. No, Scooby-Doo meets Batman. And then we have Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. Now, this is actually the only one that I haven't seen out of the 3 I'm about to show you. But this is the one that my buddy says is his favorite, and he's a big Scooby-Doo fan. So I needed to check this one out. I don't know the years on these. Looks like maybe 99. I don't know if that's right or not, but the DVD might have been from 2005, it looks like. But yeah, so another full-length Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. And then the other one that I used to watch back-to-back with Scooby-Doo and the Boo Brothers is Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. So this is a fantastic one because you get a lot of those like classic Universal monsters in here with their children, and it's just so much fun. So I was so happy when I was able to find all 3 of these. 2 of them are classics from my childhood, and one is supposed to be just a great Scooby-Doo outing. So those were 3 I ended up grabbing from FYE, but there's one more that I bought from Target, I think. It was on sale for a few bucks off, which was a pretty good deal, because this is 8 original films. And this is Scooby-Doo Greatest Mystery Collection. So I'll read the titles off on the back here. We have Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, Chill Out Scooby-Doo, we have Abracadabra Doo, Mask of the Blue Falcon, Stage Fright, Scooby-Doo and Kiss, Rock and Roll Mystery, which is awesome, Shaggy Showdown, and then Scooby-Doo and the Gourmet Ghost. So I've not seen any of those that I recall offhand. I know I've seen parts of the Kiss one, but I don't think I ever watched the entire thing. And so yeah, this was a really good deal. I want to say this was like less than $15 for all 8 of these on one thing. I'll open it up here. You can see there are multiple movies on each disc, but there's only 3 discs. But that's okay. Like, these are all short movies, so I'm sure there's not going to be any problems here at all. So yeah, just a really good Scooby-Doo collection. Plus these 3 standalones. I just went Scooby-Doo mad this past month, and I'm so happy about it. So 4 more Scooby-Doo DVDs for the family collection. If you guys follow the channel, you'll know that just a few days ago, maybe a week ago or so, I posted my Disc Replay buy 3 get 3 free DVD haul. Well, since then, I actually went back to Disc Replay a couple days ago, and I ended up finding 6 more DVDs that I had to pick up because the price is just too good to pass up. So the first one here is actually a ridiculous one because it has Fred Durst in it, and it's directed by Michelle McLaren. This is Population 436. So you have Jeremy Sisto and Fred Durst, and this is a movie that I actually watched years ago now, and I don't remember too many of the details, but I do remember actually liking it, being pleasantly surprised by it. So I wanted to add it to the collection to give it another shot. But yeah, basically it kind of like it's like something where like this town is staying at this 436 population, and it's like how are they staying at that exact number? Well, you find out, and Fred Durst's character kind of gets pulled into it. So yeah, I cannot wait to revisit this because I was much younger when I watched this, so I want to see if it holds up to what I remember. So a Fred Durst classic. That's ridiculous. A Population 436. Speaking of classics, this is an all-time favorite of mine I have not seen in so many years. So I talked about Center Stage a few months ago and how that was just a staple of my choir class. Whatever reason, my choir teacher loved us watching movies. And so this is another one that I watched so many times over my 4 years of choir in high school, and it is a brilliant movie. This is Swing Kids. So much like Center Stage, we used to watch this every year, and it was always great. So this takes place in 1939. Germany Nazi Germany at that point has declared war, and they are kind of taking over at this point. Well, our main characters here are into the American music swing, and they decide to stand up to the Nazis, and of course, bad things happen. And it is just a powerful, moving movie that is done so well. The acting in this is fantastic. Christian Bale is in this, who is amazing. Robert Sean Leonard as well. So, like the only other one I think I need from choir class, because I have That Thing You Do, which was another choir class staple. The only other one I think I need is listed on the back here, Dead Poets Society. That's another one we used to watch all the time. And so, yeah, it's very nostalgic for me, so I cannot wait to revisit it. And it's just a fantastic film from 1993. So Swing Kids from 93, just an excellent movie that I highly recommend. Here's one that I've been looking for quite a while now, and I wanted it on Blu-ray, but I've not been able to find the Blu-ray at my local thrift stores or Disc Replays for whatever reason, and so I finally found the DVD, which was also pretty difficult to find in widescreen, but this is There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis. This one is directed by Paul Thomas Anderson from 2007, and this one really needs no introduction. Like, everybody has probably seen this one. It is just supposed to be an all-time great, so now I finally have it in my collection. I can finally sit down and watch it. Daniel Day-Lewis is just one of the best ever at what he does, so very intrigued to check this one out, and I'm so happy I was finally able to find it. So There Will Be Blood from 2007. This next one looks really cool, and I don't know how I've never heard of it before. I think it's from 99. This is with Sean Patrick Flannery, Jerry O'Connell, Amanda Peet, Tara Reid. Like, the cast is ridiculous on this. This is Body Shots. So this just looks like one of those like sexy thrillers from the late 90s that is probably going to be right up my alley, but I never even heard of it before. But like, the box just looks fantastic. That's what pulled me in. It looks really cool. It sounds like this group of friends get together on they're partying one night, something bad happens, and then they have to figure out how they're going to either cover it up or handle it. And so it sounds like a thriller, which is something I really enjoy. So I'm very intrigued to check out Body Shots from 1999. If you guys know anything about this, let me know, because this is one that could potentially end up toward the top of the list here. I was so stupidly excited to find this movie because it is one of those like $10 Walmart DVDs that came out earlier this year, actually. I remember watching it because of one of the YouTube channels I watch, who is Durant Cinema. He found this movie, and it was just hilarious how he went on about it. But this is called Claw from 2021, and it is basically like a dinosaur attack film. Like, look at the back here. How could I pass this up? Like, this looks right up my alley, just so dumb and amazing all at the same time. And it's a relatively new one. It came out maybe a few months ago. So very excited when I find new ones at Disc Replay. Claw from 2021 should be just a blast to watch. So for the last movie in my buy 3 get 3 free sale and the last DVD today, I found another one from 1993, and this one gets so much hate that I genuinely don't feel it deserves, because it is not nearly as bad as everyone makes it out to be. Yes, it is not, what's the word? It doesn't respect its source material in the way that some might like, but it's still a fun movie. And so this is Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo, and Dennis Hopper. You already know what it is. Super Mario Brothers. This is just a dumb movie, and I totally understand that, but I still have fun with it, and I don't care what anyone says. Like, look at those Koopas, like, they are just fantastic. This is a fun film. So I was shocked when I realized that I didn't have this in my collection. So of course, when I came across it, some other things had to go back so I could fit this one into the buy 3 get 3. So yeah, just a silly movie that is it hasn't aged well, but it didn't really do that well when it came out either. I think it's been hated forever, except by the Washington Post, who said it was a blast. But otherwise, I just don't think this one has ever gotten the love it deserves. So Super Mario Brothers from 1993 is the last DVD I ended up finding. So now let's talk about some Blu-rays I picked up. These first 4 are all from Disc Replay as well, but they were all in like a clearance bin. So I paid like $2 for each of these, which is really cool. The first one here is Hercules 3D with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So this is one that I have picked up at Disc Replay more times than I can count, but I always end up putting it back for something else. When I found it in the clearance bin, of course, I wasn't putting it back, because it is another one for my Blu-ray 3D collection, which I love having movies from in Blu-ray 3D. So admittedly, it's been a while since I've actually watched a movie in 3D, but I have the capability thanks to the PSVR. I still have my 3D TV upstairs in like our attic space, and my projector, which I'm sitting right next to, is also 3D. Unfortunately, that one is active 3D, so those glasses are expensive, and the ones I bought are just dead and they won't take a charge. So I will have to watch this some other way, or spend the $50 or $60 to get the active glasses. But either way, this is probably going to be just big dumb action, which is what I want, especially with The Rock. So very happy to add Hercules 3D to the Blu-ray 3D collection. It may come as a surprise to some of you that I haven't seen this next movie, because frankly I should have, and I don't know why I didn't own it until now. I know it's available on 4K, but not for this price, and so I grabbed Argo, and this of course directed by Ben Affleck, but look at that cast. Bryan Cranston, Ben Affleck, John Goodman is in this, and Alan Arkin. Like, that is ridiculous. And so super happy to finally have this one in the collection, and now I have no excuse not to watch it. I was just thinking about it. I actually haven't seen The Town either. Like, I need to do a day where I just sit down and watch all of the like Affleck films that are of that ilk. And so yeah, just very excited to have this one, and now I need to sit down and watch it. Argo, directed by Ben Affleck. This next one is kind of random, but I couldn't pass it up for the price. This is, again, super cheap, so I grabbed Swot. Now, if nothing else, this will be just another big, dumb action movie, but it has a really great cast with Samuel L. Jackson, Colin Farrell, Michelle Rodriguez is in this, and then LL Cool J. Like, that's a fun cast, and so I'm guessing this is going to be a pretty decent film. Even if it's nothing life-shattering, I'm sure I'm still going to enjoy it. So, ended up finding Swot with just a really strong cast. Kind of a strong cast in a different way than Argo, but still a pretty fun one nonetheless. The last clearance Blu-ray I ended up finding is probably the weakest of the bunch, but it has Adrian Brody in it, who I really enjoy. This is called Backtrack, and I'd never heard of it until I saw it at Disc Replay. But this, I guess, is about Adrian Brody's character whose daughter recently passed away, so he's dealing with that, seeing a psychologist. The psychologist thinks that there might be a link between some other people whose, children have died, and so just a thriller picks up from there. So it sounds intriguing. It's going to be supernatural, it looks like, and Adrian Brody is typically a good actor, so I figured I would give it a shot and see how it is. So yeah, this is directed by written by Michael Petroni, written and directed by Michael Petroni, who I don't recognize offhand, but maybe you guys do. So yeah, Backtrack, another one. If you've heard anything about or you've seen it before, let me know how it is. Backtrack with Adrian Brody. This next one went on sale on Amazon, and it has been in my cart for months now. Another shout out to Beth over at the Movie Buff Pains. She talked about it in one of her, I think it was just like her collection tour, and she said this was just fantastic. And also, it stars one of the actors who I'm trying to collect for, Joaquin Phoenix. This is You Were Never Really Here. And what I always hear about this is that this is the best example of a modern day Taxi Driver, which Taxi Driver is just one of the all-time greatest movies ever. And so I'm very excited to check this one out. Joaquin Phoenix is one of the greats, which is why I'm trying to have his entire filmography in my collection. And I think this is a really exciting one to add. And the fact that it dropped down to like $5 is pretty ridiculous, because this one was always up near 20 when I had it in my cart. So very happy that I was able to find this one for the price I did. You Were Never Really Here, another one for my Joaquin Phoenix collection. These next three are just, I am so happy I went back to disc replay. My wife always yells at me. She's like, why do you go there so often? Don't they have the exact same stuff? No, they don't. And I was so happy to show her why. I may have gone there 5 days prior, but they didn't have these. And thank goodness I went back, because these wouldn't have lasted long. First up is one of my favorite found footage films of all time. It has been in my Hamilton book cart for months, but I still haven't placed an order on Hamilton book for whatever reason. I'm just being slow. But it was like $12 there. I got it for half that. This is The Taking of Deborah, Logan. And this one is from when? 2020, it looks like. Is that right? I feel like I saw this before 2020. I don't know. I'll correct myself if it's a different year. But yeah, so The Taking of Deborah Logan it's a paranormal film done in the found footage style. And it is genuinely creepy as all get out. Like, I love this movie. This is a great example that I would like to show people. If you say you don't like found footage, give this one a shot, because I think it handles everything it does really well, including why they're still filming. I think this one does a really good job of justifying that filming, that continued filming. And so this is just one that if you don't like found footage, maybe this is the one that might change your mind. And if not, if you like found footage and you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's fantastic. The Taking of Deborah Logan, one of the best found footage films I've ever seen. These next two, I just could not believe I found these. So not only did I find this one, but it has the slipcover with it. This is The Entity, and this is, yes, the Scream Factory Collector's Edition of The Entity. So it does have the slipcover with it too, which is just amazing. Now, I will mention the slipcover is not in mint condition, but still, these things are like collectors salivate over the slipcovers, or some people do, obviously, from Scream Factory. And so I was so happy. This is one that I don't have in didn't have in my collection previously, and one that I needed. And so yeah, very, very thrilled that I was able to find this. And this was, again, like $6. It's like, who is putting Scream Factory Collector's Editions up for sale for $6? I just got super lucky with this. So yeah, so very happy that I went back, because I was able to find The Entity Collector's Edition of The Entity. And let me just keep going here, because I'm too excited. This is awesome. This one just came out within the past 4 months here. And it's a steelbook, you guys. Battle Beyond the Stars steelbook from Scream Factory, as you can see on the side there. Not only is this steelbook just gorgeous, but I paid less than half of what I would have paid if I bought this new, which I had it in my hand a couple times at Best Buy. I'm so glad I waited, because this was so much cheaper, and it's in mint condition. The only thing that's not new about it is I didn't take the wrapper off, but otherwise it is in perfect shape. So this is just one of the cooler finds. Like, these three all in one day. Whoever this person was that dropped these off, like, I want to be friends with them, because clearly they have an amazing taste in film. And so I need to figure out who it was so I can connect with them. But yeah, 2 Scream Factory titles, a steelbook. What an amazing find at Disc Replay. And this is what I will always throw in my wife's face on why I go back there every few days, because you never know what's being traded in. So 3 films that I am so happy to add to the collection. All right, I gotta tone it down a little bit. I'm getting a little obnoxious. But anyway, the next up here is Dementia 13. And this is the latest Vestron series, Vestron video series. This is spine number 22, as you can see there. Yes, this is probably the one I have been least excited about. Well, maybe Sundown. I was a little not super excited about that one either. But yeah, I've heard not great things about this, which is ridiculous, because it's a Roger Corman film that was directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Like, how is it not good? Well, I don't know, because I haven't watched it yet, but I will soon. I hope to do a review of this in the coming weeks here, but we'll see what, it might be November, just because of what I'm doing for October. But yeah, this is the, supposed to be kind of like the definitive version, at least according to Vestron, of Dementia 13. So yeah, excited to see it, even though I've heard kind of negative things over the years. we'll see if I like it maybe better than some people. The latest Vestron Video Collector Series, Spine number 22, Dementia 13. All right, so I might get a little excited again because this next movie I absolutely love. It finally was released in a non-expensive collector's edition, but this is Haunt from 2019. And I know I've talked about this a couple times on the channel. I talked about it when I watched it and then again in my best of the year video because this was one of my favorite films that I watched in 2020 thanks to Shudder. But at that time, the only way to get it was through via DVD or they were releasing an expensive Blu-ray collector's edition of it, which was just too much for my blood. I'm cheap at heart, as you guys can tell. And so, yeah, I want to get a good deal. And I just wasn't feeling like I was getting a good deal with that special edition one. So I waited, and I'm so glad I did because they finally released a regular standard Blu-ray edition of this. And this is a movie I will definitely be trying to watch on Halloween this year because it is excellent. Basically, it's about these, if you don't know, it's about this group of friends who go to this haunt or this haunted house, and things go wrong, I guess I'll say. I don't want to give any spoilers, but just some of the costuming on this, the special effects. This is a fantastic independent horror film that I cannot recommend enough. At this point, I feel like a lot of people know about this one because it's kind of been heralded, especially on BlueTube over the past couple of years. But if for whatever reason you haven't heard of it, check it out. It is fantastic. Haunt is excellent. So this is one that I am very happy I held off on because I was able to get it in the collection for a very reasonable price thanks to Amazon. So Haunt from 2019. So only two more left to go, and both of these are my 4K pickups from last month. So the first one here is still my favorite movie from 2021 that I've seen. This is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Of course, this is the 4-hour cut that they released on HBO Max earlier this year. I devoured it in basically one sitting with a maybe 20-30 minute intermission in between. This was just so good. It was so much better than I expected. And I'm one of those rare people who actually liked the original Justice League, but now watching this, I don't know how I liked it because this is just leaps and bounds better than what was put out in theaters in 2016. This is just a fantastic film that I am so happy now to have on 4K so I can watch it with Dolby Atmos, with Dolby Vision. It is going to be awesome. I cannot wait to revisit this one. So Justice League, or rather Zack Snyder's Justice League from 2021 on 4K is the first 4K disc I grabbed. The last 4K disc I got, I actually am now realizing that I did show this in the vlog where I picked it up, but either way, I'm going to show it again. This is John Carpenter's The Thing on 4K, and I was able to find, fortunately, the Best Buy exclusive steelbook for this. This is one of my all-time favorite films. If you ask me on any given day which is my favorite John Carpenter film, it's either going to be The Thing or Halloween. They kind of go back and forth depending on my mood that day, but I love this movie, and this is one that I do hope to review also on the channel here soon. But again, we'll see what happens in October just because of everything else I have planned. But yeah, this is a fantastic looking steelbook. I still haven't even opened it. It's been sitting next to my 4K player for weeks now, ever since I bought it, and I just haven't gotten a chance to watch it. But yeah, very excited to revisit this classic, The Thing from John Carpenter in 4K, finally. This is actually the third edition I own of this now because I have the Arrow UK version of The Thing, and then I have the Scream Factory edition, and now I have this one here on 4K. So yeah, I love this movie, and I'm okay owning it 3 times because it's excellent. So anyway, that is the last item that I ended up picking up in the month of September. All right, so there are some of the items that I picked up last month. I won't be able to show them all. There's just too many, but just another incredible month. And I will mention, I didn't talk about it in the beginning, but I was able to stay on budget, my planned budget for the last, ever since I started it. So I guess 2 months now, I've been able to stay on budget, which is great. And you guys can see, I'm staying on budget and I'm still able to pick up a lot of things because I tend to shop at a bargain rate for most things. Some of them were new, obviously, but a lot of them were relatively cheap, and so that's the way I like to do it. But anyway, let me know down in the comments below if you guys have seen any of these. What should I put toward the top of the list? What maybe isn't quite worth my time? I would love to hear your thoughts on all of that down in the comments below, and let me know what you guys picked up last month in music, video games, movies, books, whatever. Just let me know whatever you picked up in September down in the comments below. I always appreciate all of that support. As always, if you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a like down below. That really does help me out. out. And like I always say, I don't just talk a single media type. I talk everything media, be it books, movies, video games, collectibles. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might consider subscribing. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. And I want to encourage you to consume some media today. I'll catch you next time.